A very good entry point is any seeking thought. The moment you notice a thought about the future, a thought about what you think is going to make you feel better, whether it's an hour in the future or a year in the future. The moment you notice a thought about what conditions you believe will finally bring you peace or validation or love or enlightenment, you have the opportunity to just stop. Realize that entire seeking paradigm is really one thought. And that one thought can only be found here. The moment you recognize this, the quality of presence clarifies. There's a deeper knowing that what you seek, no matter how the mind distorts that object of seeking, no matter how the mind makes it appear as if it's not here right now, or as if that could somehow fulfill you, the object of seeking in any formulation is only here. It's only now. You're in full contact with it. There's nothing outside of this. So the mind has a way of standing apart from, or apparently standing apart from, this immediate experience. That's the illusion. That's the fundamental misperception. But when it stands apart from this experience, it appears that there's somewhere else to go, some other possibility, some other experience. That simple distortion caused by the lens of the mind creates worlds of false possibilities. Now, when I say worlds of possibilities, all of those are really just a house of mirrors within thought. But it seems very real. We can get quite lost in our own delusion. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, the moment we recognize it's a thought, it's a mirror, walk up to the mirror, walk up to the thought. Notice that you, as the conscious presence, as the conscious substance aware of thought, is none other than consciousness, and the thought is none other than consciousness. Suddenly there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere you have to go. There's no place outside of this. There's no time outside of now. With this rectification, it becomes clear that the illusion of seeking, or the belief in one thought and the next thought and the next thought, creates an illusion of lack, an illusion of not good enough or not enough. So the only thing that upholds that illusion, that runs quite deep, the illusion of not enough or I'm not enough, runs very deep in our experience. But the only thing that upholds it is believing that thought, the thought of separation, the thought of the ability to separate from our own experience, the belief in duality. We have to buy into that belief again and again and again and do it all day long to preserve this sense of not enough. The strange thing about this is it actually requires a lot of energy to do this. This is why we find ourselves exhausted. But that being the case, why do we continue? Well, because there's another sort of illusion that crystallizes in this experience, and that is that there's something we really shouldn't look at. This is emotional repression. There's a place inside us that we have to avoid. And the way we avoid it is we continue to uphold the first illusion, that there's somewhere to go, something to seek, some other that we need to attain, or reclaim to make ourselves okay again. So it's distraction, ultimately. Distraction after distraction. But here's the really strange thing. Once we start to turn and face that fear, the fear of seeing the truth of ourself, the innermost secret, the innermost place, we find there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of there, here. And then we realize a very strange thing, and that is all that we've been running from this whole time is clearly seeing the truth that this entire system of seeking and lack and essentially delusion was based on a fear of something that is the most precious thing to discover. What's at the root of all that fear is a marvelous discovery. And it's not a discovery in the usual sense of speaking. It's not a piece of knowledge. It's not a paradigm. It's the realization of living truth.